Alex, I think you must be very proud of this site.
Yeah, no, it's a semi-closed greenhouse. It's the first one in the UK. And yeah, it's a different way of growing, but it's more environmentally friendly.
Why? Tell us why.
Well, you've got less ventilation on the roof. It's more driven by the fan and duct system below the trough. And yeah, so you use less heat, and you obviously use more electric, but we're looking to get more solar panels to reduce the electric bill, but also looking at different energy solutions long term.
And so what we've learned just with the tour with Mark and Rob, it's obviously quite a complex system,
Yeah.
and you need to be experts. And I'm just going to say on your behalf that you are experts in this sort of system. So hence you're making it work. So is it enjoyable, this sort of system?
No, I think it's very enjoyable because it's a different way of growing. So it's not like it's not the same as a normal greenhouse. It's different. So you sort of makes you think again. So back to basics.
Yeah.
So just because you go back to basics, it makes you think 10 times more. But also researching the industry as well.
Yep.
Listening to other people's advice. It makes everything a lot more. Makes it more enjoyable to do because everything's new. It's not just you going into a conventional greenhouse and actually it's the same system. It's just a different greenhouse, different location. It's a completely different system. You got to control the humidity better. You got to control the environment more. So yeah.
I've always got a bit of a complaint about farmers sometimes that they just grow what they think is suitable for their land. They're not growing for the market. So presumably you are growing for the market here, are you? So if you're okay to talk about it, what sort of varieties do you look to grow?
So we're growing round and large vine on this site at the minute. We really wanted to understand the system to start with because it's a new system. So we've gone back to basics on basic varieties, understanding how the plant would adapt to obviously semi-closed rather than a conventional greenhouse. We will be looking now, we understand the system, to progress into more premium products.
Okay.
Really, you have to understand the basic to understand how to grow the plant before you go too complex.
Yeah.
So if you didn't understand the system, these plants are a bit more tolerant, and if you have to adapt things and you're not quite as fast to adapt them, you can get to where you want to get to the same result with these plants. If you have more of a cherry on the vine type variety, it has more, you need more sort of attention to detail, and until we understood that, you needed to start somewhere.
Yeah. And technology, I was just talking to Rob earlier, the mercurial grower, Rob, and I was naively saying about robotics. When are robotics going to come in and pick tomatoes? And as he and Mark said, it's not actually the harvesting element that you need, it's the bug identification, disease identification, and that's where you'd like to see technology come in?
So I think really if you can go up and down the row and you can have a look for pest and disease, you can react faster if you need to spray. If you had spot sprays, it's actually better for the customer, so you're not actually spraying the whole area, you're spraying a target rather than spraying the whole row. Yes, you'll have to quarantine it, but overall you're having a lot less pesticide use. So this greenhouse also has less pesticide use because of the vents, so there's obviously only a third of the vents in this greenhouse, but they've all got nets on, so nothing can come in. It's all done on positive pressure, so the positive pressure actually pushes everything out.
So going back to what Rob was saying, that it's almost like people trying to come up with a solution for the problem, which they think is harvesting, and that's not the problem. The problem is, as you just identified.
Pest and disease is the biggest thing. If you can reduce pest and disease down to 1% from 50% or whatever, certain, because you're less likely to get hopefully a pest problem in a greenhouse like this because it's all positive pressure, there's nets on the vents. If you're in a conventional greenhouse, there's no positive pressure, it's just you open the vent, you can come in and out, you can get birds inside, you can get anything inside. Here we don't have any birds or nothing inside because of the nets.
So say we're stood here in 5 years' time, how different do you think your greenhouse will look then?
I think it'll look very, very similar to what it is now. I think you might tweak things with how you set things out, but overall you've got one concrete path, which is ideal for robotics. Obviously every path's the same length, so everything's very uniform, and I don't think you'd really go away from that as you've got a uniform path, you don't need anything different. And collaboration,
are you, and all the growers in the UK, are you quite open to collaboration, whether it be with tech, whether it be the markets, whether it be, I don't know, data analysis, whether it be with education? What's your take on that?
So I think that tech-wise, we're speaking to certain people at the minute to hopefully try and get some robotics in to do the pest and disease and spot spraying and stuff like that, really, to get to the next level. And I think further down the line, I think then it's going to be the manual jobs rather than now. I think if you can get the pest identification right now, you've got a better crop, which actually means more yield, which means you'll get more efficient anyway.
Yeah.
So if you're taking out all of the risk for, say you had botrytis, and you could spot spray for botrytis, you could have, you say your robot's gone down that road twice this week and it's found one plant, you can spot spray it, or you can actually go and take that plant out.
Yeah.
So you can remove the problem before it becomes a big problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. Very impressive. Thank you very much for your time today. Just to wrap up, what's your favourite fresh produce?
Tomatoes.
Well done.